Yep.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the CI Chit Chat. And it's been an exciting week here already. Excited to share some of the latest and greatest that's happening here at Continuum Ag with the launch of our newest effort called TopSoil Connect. But I will circle back around to that here in just a second. CI, as hopefully everyone knows by now, is carbon intensity. But for any new folks that are on this week, carbon intensity or CI. It's essentially the carbon footprint per bushel of production. It's particularly important in the biofuel space, and it's measured utilizing the GREET model, which was developed by the Department of Energy. And the opportunity is surrounding 45Z. And why don't I circle back to that here in just a second when I get a little bit more settled. I'll toss it over to my special guest here today. I got David with me. He's actually my younger brother, but he's a sales guy with us and been on for quite a while now. I don't know, 7 months or something like that, 6, 7 months.
Yep.
And so it's been great to have David back around, talking with a lot of different farmers. But David, why don't you just introduce yourself first, and then we'll roll from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So like Mitchell said, I'm his younger brother. Been working as a sales rep for Continuum Ag here for the past couple months, as well as a lot of experience in years past with a lot of different aspects. So really excited always to have kind of new offerings like this pop up of kind of what we can provide as Continuum Ag and what we have for an expertise. Um, so definitely excited about this one. Really being able to get more definition and a lot more complexity to our offerings on the carbon side. Obviously, with a market like carbon has in agriculture, diversity is how we're going to be able to um, give the best optionality and create the best opportunities for farmers that want to get involved in it. So for the past few months here, and for since I've been around, it's been a conversation as to what are the different things and what are the different areas of the carbon market that Continuum Ag can help the farmers with getting involved in. And obviously, the big ticket item that we've really been talking about is this 45Z tax incentive of the optionality and the incentive that the government created on the carbon side. But what what's a lot of times overlooked, since that created such a huge opportunity there, is that the private market is still around, is still an option, and has really kind of broken out of its infancy once the government started getting involved and really started kind of pushing for the private markets to, or for the private markets to have some competition, um, to have to compete against the government to purchase these carbon rights and to uh, collect enough of that calculated carbon in order to reach their goals. So, with everything on 45Z still moving along, and we're all very hopeful to see where all that goes. We are now offering and able to create this new program where the farmer now has the decision to be made between, do I want to go fully into 45Z, or maybe do I want to hold off and go with something that's a little bit more like a stepping stone towards it, which would be this Topsoil Connect that we're unleashing today, where only $3 an acre, which is much cheaper than the 45Z and the CI, the full, the whole government, the fancy one. For just $3, you can get involved in this, where you're able to still track all your practices. You're able to get in all that information into our topsoil, and we're able to help you get involved and get information from these private market opportunities. So you still have an opportunity to make money off of the carbon market without having to go fully into 45Z. You don't have to put all your eggs into one basket. It also doesn't keep you from taking that option either. Later on down the road, you can always hop back into 45Z. So this is obviously very Mitch, you're muted still there.
My bad.
But
Yeah, let me jump in here. Yeah. So with this Topsoil Connect that David was talking about that we launched here today, it's kind of I think of it as CI certification light, right? CI certification is been our flagship program. It is going from onboarding all the way through third party ISO 14064 audit, which is what's going to be required for the 45Z program whenever it comes to fruition. That ISO 14064, 14065 is named in the rules that have been put out there already as the audit protocol or the anticipated audit protocol that is written into some of the rules already. But with the uncertainty around 45Z, lack of final rules, we're punting a little bit on taking everybody all the way through the third party audit. The problem is, though, if we just continue to wait and wait on Washington, D.C., wait on final rules from 45Z, wait for 100% clarity, the longer we wait, the more work we're going to have to do in a condensed amount of time. And it's just not going to happen. There's just not going to be enough hours in a day to get 5.4 billion bushels put through an audit process, which whenever 45Z finally launches, which of course it still looks like it will, all of these bushels got to go through an audit. And it's going to take a lot of time, going to take a lot of effort. We know how to do it. We passed the first audit. We're the only ones that have done so that I'm aware of. And we're ready to scale up and do it again. But we know that there's a risk to the farmer as well and a risk to the biofuel facilities that we work with. And we're trying to back that risk off. And that's why we're doing Topsoil Connect for just $3 an acre to get the tools unlocked within our software Topsoil, to tap into our network and our expertise to get your data organized, get your data put together so that we're spreading out the workload there, especially farmer for you, spread out the workload for you, spread out the workload for agronomists in our network, and utilize a lower price point, lower barrier to entry, but still get people organizing our data because that's what's going to boil down to, whether it be 45Z or, like David was saying, other options as well. Because 45Z, we think it's a huge opportunity, but it's not the only opportunity. But everything takes data. Any of these sustainability programs, they all take data. So at a minimum, let's start there. So let's start at a lower price point, get the data organized. Then later we can decide, do we need to go ahead and get this audited, or maybe we help you enroll in a program that doesn't require the third party audit. And then there you go. No additional, your data's already ready to go. It's already organized. We just hit, you just tell us where it needs to go and we push it over there for you. So, David, yeah, you were talking about that optionality, right? And being able to make sure that farmers know. Obviously, we've been pushing hard for 2.5 years. I've been pounding 45Z, 45Z, 45Z. We're still going to continue to pound that. But as I'm sure everyone's seeing, it's been a frustrating last couple of months too. That by law, it was supposed to be launched on December 31. The rules were supposed to be done and finalized by December 31. It didn't happen. So we are still pushing and believe that it will happen, but we don't know when. But we can't just sit and wait and do nothing until that day comes. So
yeah,
TopSoil Connect is here for that.
it's important to not look at Topsoil Connect's not something that's here for the if it does or if it doesn't. It's Topsoil Connect is the option of if 45Z is the best option or not. So for our family farm, we have on-farm storage, and as we look at carbon as essentially a new commodity, 45Z is your strategy of being able to hold on to your carbon rights and have the optionality throughout the year of when to sell it off, of who to sell it to, much like you would if you were storing your own corn or your own beans. Whereas the best market arises for it and the best person to buy it would come up, you get the best price for it.
Sure.
That's when you call the truckers up and you say, all right, time to get this sold out to them. That's why this is here. And when we get to the point where we have the rules and everything for 45Z ready to go, and it aligns with, you know, the best option for each individual farmer, based upon how the rules could go. That could be a lot of people, that could be, you know, some of them, and it just all depends on what the rules are. But
Yep.
regardless of what happens with it, this TopSoil Connect gives that option to go into 45Z, go into the private market without having to pay the full price, without knowing all the facts first.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I like that analogy there, David. Of in row crop farming, you harvest your crop and you can store it in a bin and then sell it when the time is right. It's kind of the same thing here. Get your data organized. We've got the software platform Topsoil to get it stored in. Then when the time is right, you're able to utilize it. A couple things that I'm working on as options to connect your data into, where David was talking about some of the private carbon programs. Mostly we've been participating in the inset markets and working on getting our project wrapped up this year for the 2024 carbon insets, but there will definitely be more inset opportunities. There's lots of different companies working on carbon insets, potential for carbon offsets. We're also working on partners that can help farmers with just your cost share programs. So federal cost share programs could be an option. We've got a partner that's looking at potential around a data co-op. Maybe there's other ways that farmers can get compensated for their data. You can opt in to get compensated for your data. We've got a partner lined up to help us to do the tracking of this data and to help avoid any potential for fraud and double counting. So we've got that taken care of. Just getting so much of this infrastructure built out to give farmers the option to monetize their data, hopefully multiple times over. Of course, without double counting the carbon and we've got to play by the rules, of course. But it all starts with getting your data organized, getting that put in the bin, and yeah, really excited to get TopSoil Connect launched. For $3 an acre, trying to make it as minimal as we can while keeping the lights on here at Continuum, getting our bills paid, keeping our people paid, and try to make this a low barrier to entry for everyone to get in position to capitalize here on the 2025 crop.
Absolutely.
Let's pivot a little bit. So the other big thing that's going on is the public comment period for the IRS ends on April 10th. So huge thing for 45Z. Now, keep in mind what happened with 45Z is the rules by law were supposed to be out on December 31. That did not happen. The IRS put out a draft some draft rules and an intent to publish the rules. That draft went out on January 10th earlier this year. And they opened up a 90-day public comment period. Well, that public comment period now ends on April 10th. So this week, the IRS public comment period ends. Continuum submitted our comments last week. We've emailed those out to everybody, and a lot of you. And we've also emailed out the links to go and submit your own comment. Maybe we'll get them in the chat here too. But when I looked yesterday, there was about 27 comments that had been submitted. So not that many of them in the USDA public comment period that closed about a month ago. There was over 220 some comments that were put. I think that's right. No, maybe not. Maybe not. I think that's too many. I don't remember. But there was a 100 some or 200
Look at me. I don't
comments.
know.
There's like 200 comments that were submitted with the USDA public comment period. And in this IRS one, so far, there's only been 27. Now, it's always at the last couple days that a whole bunch of them come in. So I anticipate that there will be a lot. But thanks to everyone who has put in their comments so far from our network. Of those 27 comments that were in there yesterday, a pretty good majority of them were a lot of you all and us and advocating for the core talking points that we were pushing. Those core talking points for this purpose for the IRS really is, hey, get the rules out there and include the farmers, include the feedstock, because what the Biden Department of Treasury put out there on January 10th, it didn't even mention the any of the rules and stuff around the feedstock. It didn't mention the a feedstock carbon intensity calculator. Really gave us no good clarity on how the feedstock in our case here for most of you, the corn or soybeans, it really didn't give us any indication of how they're going to factor in the feedstock in the Biden rules. Now we're saying, hey, let's get the feedstock actually included. It's more than 50% of the equation. More than 50% of the carbon footprint of ethanol comes from the corn. So we've got to factor that in. You got to take that into account somehow. Number one, give us the rules about how to factor the biofuel feedstock. Number two, let us utilize the GREET feedstock calculator as that methodology, right? The USDA feedstock calculator that was put out at the last couple of days of the previous administration. It just has a lot of issues with it, really missed the mark, and it hinders innovation, which of course is our number one thing. We want farmers to be able to be compensated for their innovative practices and stackable practices. But so we're saying utilize the GREET feedstock calculator, not the USDA one. We're advocating, of course, for a book and claim, which means that your corn or your grain and the data can be decoupled, and you can sell the data as a CI certificate or a biofuel feedstock report on its own. And we're advocating for cleaning up the audit protocol a little bit. Just trying to advocate for simplicity for farmers and making sure that this is independent, but with high standards through these ISO audits that are super legit and the global standard around auditing these things. So we need to have some consistency there with other global standards. So that's what we are advocating for in the IRS public comment period. So if you haven't put your comments in, would definitely encourage you to tell your story and advocate for yourself and advocate for ag and advocate for biofuels by submitting some comments. And what I'm most excited for is, I know that from January 20th or, basically January 17th, or in the case of the Treasury, January 10th, when the previous administration put out their paperwork and their initial draft rules, I know from then until now, nothing's been really going on in DC in regards to working on any of this, trying to get new rules put out there. Just, it's sitting on the back burner. Now, because now the public comment will be submitted, now they've got all of the cards kind of on the table from public comment, from the previous administration's paperwork and rules that they put out. Now this administration can actually start putting pen to paper, start digging through all these comments, start digging through the material that the previous administration put out there, and some actual progress can be made. So really looking forward to seeing that happen. I'm getting multiple reports here over the last 2 weeks about people being appointed into high-level positions at USDA. So that's really good. I'm not as connected in with the right folks at Treasury. We'll definitely push to continue to get in there with Treasury. But definitely at USDA, they're making great progress of getting people appointed, getting people put in position. And I'm sure the same thing has happened over at Treasury. So now they've got all the cards on the table. Now people are getting appointed in there to actually work on this stuff. And I hope that here in the relative short term, meaning hopefully in the next couple weeks or couple months, by midsummer, hopefully we're getting some good indication that it's being worked on. They want to get this done, and that we're going to see some updated language to keep moving 45Z forward. Again, Secretary Brooke Rollins at USDA, Secretary Scott Bassett at Treasury, both of them said in their Senate hearings or in their onboarding process that they want to see 45Z happen. Now they've got the public comment. Now they've got all the cards on the table. It's time to get to work and get it done. So excited for that. And gosh darn, we need some clarity and some momentum happening in DC that this is going to move forward. So that's really the next stages.
Well, yeah, if everyone kind of notices from Mitchell's points there as to what we would like to see with the rules on this, and as we're submitting these comments, kind of what direction we would like all this to go. A lot of, again, what Continuum Ag is advising that we do with 45Z is for the value and the opportunity, how many farmers can be involved get involved with this thing and what the value is to each one of them. And hopefully everything works out well, that we get those proper rules in place and that we're able to turn 45Z into something that's going to be, a big home run for a lot of farmers. Um, but regardless of what happens in Washington, D.C., regardless of the pace of it, Continuum Ag, we're still going to be helping farmers make
Yeah.
money somewhere, whether that be the carbon stuff, whether that be the soil stuff. We're still going to be helping the farmers out. And now, at least on the carbon side, we have that optionality between starting with the $3 and getting you into TopSoil Connect, so that we could talk about the private markets, and we could talk about getting stuff tracked. All of it is going to take data tracking, and that's what this is helping you out with.
Yeah, that's a good point. Continuum Ag was here before 45Z. We're going to be here after 45Z. And there's the goalposts are going to continue to change too in all these different programs, but they all take the same type of data. A little plug too. If you are interested in the Haney soil health test, our folks are out in the fields right now doing Haney testing. Technically, our deadline to get in for this spring's soil testing, the deadline was last week. If you ask really nice, you might be able to still get in here for this week. We're out trying to help as many farmers as we can quantify their soil health and improve their fertility management, and drive improved profitability by quantifying that soil health. Last couple things as we work to wrap up here for this week. The registration did just open for Continuum Ag's TopSoil Summit, so that is going to be on June 3rd here this year in Southeast Iowa at Riverside Casino and their conference center again. We've been doing it there the last couple of years. It's been really awesome. We've already got confirmed speakers from some of the sustainable aviation fuel producers, other folks within the biofuel industry, multiple big time farmers. We haven't announced anyone yet, but we got some amazing folks getting locked in to come and speak. Already multiple awesome sponsors as well. If you're interested in sponsoring or a company that wants to be part of this conversation and come connect with more of our farmers, we'd love to talk with them about sponsorship or about speaking opportunities at the TopSoil Summit. We'll do a reception out at our farm again as well. We got some different trials going on and things to check out on the farm also. And we do have our early bird discount is going on right now for registering for the TopSoil Summit. So it's just $25 when you use the discount code TS25 when you check out and get your tickets for the TopSoil Summit. So hopefully by June 3rd, we are getting some of that indication out of Washington, D.C. I'm not super optimistic that it will be by June 3rd, but, we can hope. We can hope, that's for sure.
Right.
I think we'll get some insight that things are happening in regards to 45Z coming out of Washington, D.C. sometime this summer. Again, I hope it's by June 3rd so we can get you all the latest and greatest at the TopSoil Summit. But nonetheless, it's going to be an awesome opportunity to come connect with some of our different partners, connect with folks that are in this space, and be part of this conversation and really just continue to work together as a ag industry, as a biofuel industry, lean on each other and continue to build out that network. So June 3rd here in Southeast Iowa, going to be an awesome time, and looking forward to sharing more of the details about who we've got coming in regards to speakers and sponsors and all that. More info to come over the coming weeks.
Yep. And for all the farmers out there that I'm talking to each week, that we spend a good bit of time just talking about nothing 45Z or carbon, just about the farming. This is a perfect opportunity to come and definitely have those one-on-one conversations and see kind of in reference to what we have for an operation and things of that sort, and be able to meet our team and see the people that are putting in the hours to help you guys out and to do all this work with all that data and everything like that. This is a great time to have that very personable aspect of what we do, and be able to meet our team and see the operation and just have all the reference to what we speak about on the phone. So hoping to see a lot of you there, and I always love the summit, so I'm pretty excited about it all. And then, yeah, if you have any questions on the Topsoil Connect or you hear of anything on the carbon side, as usual, just, give us a call. We're happy to chat with you and share what we know and learn what you've got.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome, awesome deal, and yeah, good opportunity to come back. I think this is our seventh or eighth annual summer event here, so
Yeah.
we're keeping at it. We're gonna continue to do it, but shout out to Nico who's on here today too from South Africa. Good to see you, my friend. Joanne, always appreciate the following along and ongoing support and sharing our message here. But yeah, farmers, we're going to keep advocating for you all. We're advocating for ourselves too. We're farming and we're trying to figure this out ourselves. I mean, that's why I've built everything here. Right, I've said it many times. Everything that I've built at Continuum Ag, I've built it because I needed it on my own farm, and my neighbors needed it, and um, our consulting customers needed it. We just continue to try to build to advocate for farmers as much as we can. We got to advocate for ourselves as farmers, advocate for ag, and stand up for ourselves. So we're going to continue to do that. And speaking of farming, springtime is coming here in Southeast Iowa. We're planning on getting the bean drill out and getting some beans put in here over the weekend. So I'm really excited to get some farming going. Supposed to get some good warm weather coming in over the weekend, and hopefully it'll stick around. But time to get some of the things rolling. Be safe as you all are getting out to the fields as well. And we will catch you here next time. We'll be back next Tuesday here for another chit chat, and we'll keep things rolling. We'll keep fighting for opportunities here. But thanks everyone for being on. Hit us up if you'd like any more info. If you'd like to have more conversation, we'll catch you next time.